Hello Issaquah, my name is Pauly and I am honored to serve as your mayor. The COVID-19 pandemic continues to impact our residents, businesses, and social service providers at a magnitude not seen in our lifetimes. The painful statistics show the real danger of the virus and why the precautions we are taking really matter. Despite these trying times, this pandemic has also demonstrated once again Issaquah's amazing resilience. I am forever thankful for the willingness of our community members to support people and businesses in need. Thank you for the kindness you have been sharing during these last many months. Earlier this year, I created the Issaquah Advisory Task Force to advise the city on issues related to our pandemic response and how we could reopen safely. These community members represented many different perspectives and backgrounds. Thanks to the task force and their great ideas and recommendations, we have implemented new and innovative ways to serve our community, like the downtown streetery, the reopening of our parks and trails, and guidance on how best to communicate with you, the community. We must keep that innovation going. As mayor, my main focus each fall is to present a draft budget to our city council for the coming year. This financial plan will tell a story of how we, as public servants, will provide services that foster a safe, vibrant, livable, and inclusive community that aligns with our city's strategic plan. Before I share some of the highlights of this year's proposed plan, I'd like to express my utmost gratitude to our hard-working city employees who face the challenging task of meeting current needs and preparing for future ones. This pandemic has financially impacted how we as a city do business, but our team is motivated to keep our essential services running smoothly during these challenging times. While we can't predict what lies ahead for 2021, the budget I'm recommending to our City Council this fall is fiscally sound, responsible, and balanced. Soon after the pandemic reached King County, we started to forecast significant dips in our city revenues, potentially up to a $10 million decrease in 2020, which is 20% reduction. This is extremely challenging. To ensure flexibility as we responded to this unprecedented crisis, the city took a phased approach to cut expenditures this year. We needed to reduce our services to match our expected revenue levels, and that meant taking a hard look at the community's priorities and making some very difficult decisions. We focused on maintaining our core city obligations, public safety and public infrastructure. This required cuts in all other areas. In total, we reduced spending by about $5.6 million this year, including the heartbreaking layoffs of 23 employees and the freezing of an additional 16 vacant positions. While extremely difficult, these early proactive decisions mean that we have more options than facing dramatic budget cuts that many other jurisdictions across Washington state and the nation are now currently facing. Thanks to our team's proactive actions, we feel that we may now be able to restore some key services in 2021. That said, we will continue to be operating in 2021 and beyond with reduced service levels when compared to the pre-pandemic service levels. I want to talk now a little bit more specifically about the numbers. The budget I am submitting to Council for 2021 totals $123 million. It represents a 14% reduction from 2020. It also includes 34 less full-time positions. I'm going to take a few minutes to talk about some of the highlights of my proposed budget and top priorities, including a focus on creating a safe and equitable community for all, investing in our parks and open spaces, and transportation improvements. First, in 2021, we'll be implementing Issaquah's Police Accountability, Equity and Human Services Action Plan, which was heavily shaped by public input earlier this year. Thank you for your engagement on this important initiative. I'm proposing to add 2 new human services positions to our team. One of these positions will be embedded within our police department, and the second position will be added to our Parks and Community Services team to expand our human services capacity. These dedicated professionals will help assist those in our community in need by providing the right resource to navigate the crisis that they are facing, whether it be a safety issue or a mental or behavioral health crisis. We are building our public safety team so that we match the resource sent to help with the nature of the crisis. We also plan to add additional civilian resources to our police department to help with reporting, data analysis, and responding to our community's records requests. We heard loud and clear that accountability and transparency are essential. I'm proud to announce that our employees have also created an equity team, which is focusing on engagement and training and recruitment for our city staff. This self-selected group of employees will develop a guide that will assist us in evaluating Issaquah's programs and services through an equity lens. Here in Issaquah, kindness is our strength, and our goal is to be welcoming and inclusive for all who live here. We have room for improvement, and we have the courage to meet that challenge. Next, safety is a priority when we are talking about our parks and open space system. I want to ensure our parks, trails, and open spaces are welcoming to everyone. While parks and open spaces have always been treasured in Issaquah, it's especially important now, as hikes, walks, and outdoor adventures can boost our mental and physical health as we stay safe and physically distanced during the reopening of our community. I'm proposing Issaquah hire its first ever parks ranger, as well as additional parks maintenance staff to care for and steward our beloved public lands. I want you to be able to enjoy safe, clean, and beautiful parks and trails. This will free up time for our police officers who currently respond to non-emergency calls and concerns in our natural areas to be able to focus on emergency calls. I also plan to acquire even more creekside and sensitive land in 2021 through grant opportunities. This effort will help us protect essential habitat and continue to build a green necklace of interconnected parks, trails, and open space. I'm also proposing updates to our parks and trail signage, which will improve our users' experience and help them find new outdoor treasures. Additionally, my proposed budget includes plans to make improvements to Central Park's Pad 3 in the Issaquah Highlands, as well as Hillside Park on Squawk Mountain. Along with investing in our parks and open spaces, we must continue working on another top priority for our community, making it easier and safer to get around town. Crews will soon complete a project to realign the driveways to Providence Point and Forest Village on Southeast 43rd Way, and are installing a traffic signal at the new intersection. And thanks to contributions from Costco's international headquarters, we will soon revamp the intersection at State Route 900 and Northwest Sammamish Road near the Holiday Inn. It will improve overall traffic circulation north of Interstate 90. A priority for our South Lake Sammamish residents, I also commit to further studying design options for adding a multimodal trail between 193rd Place Southeast and the State Park entrance. This will allow walkers, joggers, and cyclists a connection to our citywide trail system. Even though funding for this project is likely years away, we do need a shovel-ready plan. Meanwhile, several other city projects are priorities for 2021, including the following four. First, creating a new Community Environmental Board, which will replace the Rivers and Streams Board. This new board will be focused on sustainability, taking action on climate change, and protecting our natural areas. Second, updating Issaquah's land use code to help us better preserve, strengthen, and protect our city's natural and built environment. Then, working in partnership with the state on plans for future improvements to Lake Sammamish State Park. And lastly, surveying our residents to assess our city services and Issaquah's quality of life. My proposed budget restores several essential services and projects, but there remains a gap in the investments we need to make in our community. In 2021, Issaquah and all communities throughout our country will need to move forward in a new post-pandemic world. For Issaquah to thrive in 2021 and beyond, we must focus on three areas. First, we must consider the specific impacts to our community on changes to where people work. Many of our residents will continue to work at home, and that will impact transportation, retail, and commercial services. I am committed to continue working with the City Council on ways to support our local businesses, to welcome new businesses, and to continue to ensure that people can easily get around Issaquah. Secondly, the city must watch carefully how we spend money. Simply put, our revenue streams, many of which are state regulated, do not grow at the same rate as expenditures that are needed to provide your city services. Using our community strategic plan as a guide, I am committed to continuous review of all of our services and programs and using data through performance measures to assess the best investments of your tax dollars. I am committed to maintaining our ability to provide our community the level of public safety and public infrastructure that our residents and businesses expect. These primary functions of local governments are important to our community, I am also committed to strengthening our partnerships within the region and the community to make sure we work together on all of our other programs and services that truly enhance and protect the quality of life in Issaquah. We are proud to contribute funding and combine resources to ensure our community is healthy and thriving. Finally, as more people work at home, maintaining and enhancing Issaquah's quality of life is now more important than ever. The city must continue to invest in open space, parks, and recreation facilities, streets and utility infrastructure, and the needed maintenance of all those assets. I want to work with the community on creative ways to continue to invest in what makes Issaquah such a special place. Please stay engaged with us this fall as your City Council deliberates on my proposed budget. I encourage you to watch and participate in our virtual meetings, which are all listed on the city's website. A pandemic creates an ever-changing set of constraints and issues and requires us to be flexible and nimble. And as we continue our response to this crisis, I am confident our dedicated City Council, employees, and community will demonstrate once again Issaquah's historic resilience and strength. Thank you.